The main reason why we're doing this is because someone with limitations and is still motivated to work, still motivated to figure out kind of how they can do things to stay in the healthiest way possible should never be held back. And so I have a passion for people who just are self-motivators like myself, and who really believe in fitness, health and wellness, what it could do for their overall body and overall physique and overall mindset. So we're here to really help you out, Vicky. We want to make sure you have the best and the most brightest experience possible. We want to make sure it's easy to follow, so that's why we're doing it on video. If you have any questions, please ask us, and we're more than happy to kind of follow up with you as well.
Awesome. So I know, like, I've learned from you and from Ariani, as somebody that you got trained by the same people, that, you know, just alignment and what I'm supposed to be feeling in the beginning during any workout. So I think that's really important that we go over that with Vicky first and really figure out, like, what is her body supposed to feel like? What are some proper ways of, like, standing that could just help her with regular functional movement?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a great way to kind of segue into this. So the first thing I always teach everybody is 5 checkpoints. You really want to know kind of where your posture is, and so I use 5 checkpoints to kind of keep that reminder of how you should stand, what your skeletal system should be doing versus your muscular system and your neurological system. When you're aligning all 3 of those systems, your body can respond much easier. It understands kind of what you're trying to do. There's mobility, which is a way of moving properly to really help. And there's ways the body can move that it really shouldn't. So when you get into a proper alignment and you know kind of where your posture should be, it kind of helps you get through movement patterns easier because you know where you're starting.
Awesome. All right, so let's get to it. What are the 5 checkpoints?
All right, so we're going to start with the feet, okay? And we're going to work our way up. So the 5 checkpoints start with the feet. I always tell people this. Imagine that your middle toe is going straight forever. Imagine there's an imaginary line that's just coming out of your middle toes. So if you look at both feet, to keep it straight, you have to have parallel toes. If your feet are intersecting, that's internal rotation, or if they're rotating out, which is called external rotation, that's not going to be really great for your hips or your knees. Knees or hips, or knees. So we want to make sure that it's actually in a nice, neutral, straight position. Second thing about the feet, you want to make sure that your arches are up, okay? So just imagine there's a grape, and I stuck a grape right under your foot, right under the ball of your foot, before your heel, and right after kind of like your first toes. You want to make sure that arch is up a little bit. You don't want to roll too far out where you're too much on the outside of your foot. That's no good. And you don't want to collapse it because that puts a lot of pressure in the knees itself. So you want to find that mid position, okay? So again, first checkpoint is your feet. Feet straight, arches up. Second checkpoint is going to be your knees. You never want to have hyperextended knees or locked out knee joints because that just puts a lot of pressure on your meniscus. You hear a lot of people talking about pain in their knees, ACL. So what I tell people to do is just have a soft bend. You don't have to squat, you don't have to really be too loose with it, but you really are just giving your knees some soft bend. It still allows your body to stay nice and tall, it allows you to fire your glutes, but now with your knees at a soft bend, it straightens out, right, because those feet are straight, right, because those arches are up. So your second checkpoint, knees soft.
So while you do this, I'm going to try to keep all of these things happening instead of like letting it go and then you working on the next point. So it starts there, and then we're going to work our way up and keep everything as a progression, not just they're not separated, they're all together.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So body awareness is key. That's the biggest thing I teach here at Fitness Essentials. And when I teach people one-on-one, body awareness. Know what's going on with the bottom of your foot, bottom of your ankles, knees, hips, while working your upper body, while working your stomach muscles. Everything really works together, right? So we don't want to think of the body as one piece versus the other. We want to think of it as a whole, as a unit. So okay, just to review, feet are straight, arches are up.
Arches are up.
Knees are soft.
Knees are soft.
And the knees are straight, in straight alignment, okay? Good. Now the third thing is the hip position. So we have 3 hip positions. We have an anterior pelvic tilt, all right? So you see how the hips really, this is called lordosis. You don't want to feel that. This lower back pain, there's no activation in the glutes. Your hip flexors are really tight, so it's kind of pulling you out of alignment. Then there's a posterior pelvic tilt, or think of this as the flat back, right? So now your glutes are really fired up, your hamstrings are really fired up, but your spine is again out of alignment. There should be a natural arch. And then there's that neutral position. You want to be in that neutral position where you can squeeze your glutes, your hips are right over your feet, your back has a natural arch in it, but it's not damaging to the body. It's not changing your body posture or position in any way, and you're able to kind of control your core. Most importantly, in this neutral position, your hips are level. Think of a belt buckle that's straight. It's not going down, it's not going up, it's going nice and straight, and you can squeeze your glutes in, okay? The fourth one is your shoulders. Now if you rotate, turn around. This will show you exactly what I'm talking about. You want to have your shoulder blades come together and then push down. It's called retraction and depression of the shoulders, okay? When you retract and depress the shoulders like this, you're allowing your body, your back muscles to take some of the pressure off of your chest. In our society, we have a very forward society. You know, we're driving all the time, we're eating all the time, we're on our phones all the time, we're just rounded. So our pec muscles are really tight. Yeah, I know.
So when I go to try to teach people this, they tend to like, they focus on opening up this rather than pulling down and back.
Remind them about the rest of the body. Again, back to body awareness, right? So if they're pushing their chest out like that, then they're throwing their hips out of alignment.
Okay.
So you gotta remember the hips are in alignment, the glutes still squeezed, and you're focusing on the shoulder blades itself. Your scapula and subscapula, which is these angel wings back here. Okay, that's what you wanna really pull together and back. If you can see, her alignment's better, her traps aren't fired up, her shoulders are sitting right into her skeletal system. See her collarbone's nice and lined, right? So everything's looking good here.
And this is not effortless. Like, I'm working right now.
Yeah, this is work.
This alone is like work.
This is work, for sure, for sure. And then when you get your alignment with your back, all you gotta do is make sure the neck and head is also aligned with the spine. You don't want your head too far forward because it gets heavier and heavier at that point, and it's gonna start dragging you down and pulling you forward. Also, you're gonna get a lot of pain in your neck muscles, SMR, sternocleidomastoid, and you're gonna have some weakness in the back muscles where your vater scapula is and stuff like that. So you wanna pull that back and keep the chin down just a little bit so that your neck and spine is aligned, okay? Now, most important thing here is pulling in the stomach muscles, right? Everybody talks about core. I truly believe the core starts at the neck and ends at the hips, okay? Your extremities aren't your core, but your torso is. So all of this coming together is important. You want to imagine there's a string and it's tied to your belly button, and I'm pulling it from the back of your shirt, so you have to draw that belly button in. You want to feel Kegel muscles. You want to feel everything from the belly button down. You want to fire those muscles up while you're squeezing your glutes and while your shoulders are back and down in this solid alignment. Now, you're probably wondering, like, how am I supposed to move at this point?
I can't.
You will start to get used to moving at this point, and it will start to feel more natural. But this is the first step for anyone. This is a great step for you, where you can start to kind of feel where your body is, understand kind of the best parts of this, what's hard about this, and start to break down what you need to work on. Okay? So that's your proper alignment. That's your 5 checkpoints plus your drawn-in maneuver. So make sure that the stomach muscles are supporting the lower back.
Yeah, so I guess a really big thing, like drawing in that belly button, is just like kind of a movement in this area. It's not really any kind of change anywhere else. It's just a pull in and a tightness of just like this frontal whole area. It's like all being pulled in kind of towards my spine without my spine moving.
Exactly.
I want to make sure I don't,
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'm not crunching.
No, you're not. You're not changing your skeletal system. You're not changing your spine. You're not going into a round position. You're really pulling in the belly button here, and you're also feeling the obliques because this is your stomach muscles and your core. This transverse abdominis literally wraps around like a belt all the way to your back. Okay. So when you're pulling that belly button, and you're gonna feel your obliques, internal, external obliques. You're gonna feel like you can get a ball bouncing off of your stomach because it's not just sucking in, it's also contracting as well. You want to combine the two.
Woo!
Yeah, burn, baby, burn.